here. Beautiful. All right, we need a few props today, or optional props if you would like to. How do I make this go away? Sorry. Technical difficulties. All right, so if you've got them, grab cans or small weights. A foam roller, it can be short or long if you've got it. If you don't, doesn't matter. And a stretchy band. Also quite handy is if you have like a chair or a tabletop, especially if you don't like going down onto your knees. We can do lots of the stuff on hands and knees instead, arm supported today. All right, so a few things to go run and grab for me. Shoulders. So today will kind of be all of upper body, but we're kind of generalizing it as a shoulder class. Now, shoulders are complicated. It's one of those cases of the foot bones attached to the leg bone and all the rest, because obviously everything is connected. So if someone comes to see me for, say, an elbow tendon, it's not as simple as treating the elbow, because the elbow needs a strong shoulder joint. All right, strong and stable. A strong shoulder joint needs a strong and stable scapula. All right, a strong and stable scapula needs a very strong, stable, and mobile thoracic spine. And without good core and good breathing patterns, your thoracic spine isn't going to be awesome. So most people I see, even if they're strong and healthy and fit, have dodginess somewhere in their upper body or their neck. It's just the society we live in. It's too much stress, not enough time to breathe, not enough hanging and swinging. Our shoulders are actually designed to swing on monkey bars and swing through vines. And as adults, we just don't do any of that. You know, we go through a stage where we hold children, and then we drive, and we computer, and we cook, and we clean, and it's not balanced. So it's really important to be doing some corrective stuff with your upper body. So we're going to warm up with breathing, because breath is really where all of the upper body stuff starts. So you're just going to take a big breath in and expand your rib cage three-dimensionally. If it helps you to pop your hands onto your rib cage or wrap your band around, you can do that. As you exhale, you're just feeling your ribs close down. All right, so an inhale, almost imagine bucket handles lifting up and out through the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, you're going to relax and just let the rib cage come back down again. So an inhale into the rib cage, and an exhale to relax the ribs. Good. One more breath here. Inhale, breathing in. Keep going with the breath pattern. I just check. Oh, yep. Good. All right. So thoracic spine, if we join it into the breath, is basically from about here, so past the low back to the base of the neck. You've got 12 vertebrae there that are your thoracic spine, and that's where your shoulder blades attach muscularly. So we have to have a good mobile thoracic spine. So inhale, you're going to breathe in and lift the chest like there's a string attached onto your sternum that's pulling you up and forwards. Exhale, you're going to depress through the sternum like someone's coming at you with a red hot poker and you're running away from it. Okay, so inhale, lift and open the chest. So I want this to come mostly from the upper half of you. The lower half of you is going to move, but focus on the upper half moving. So the inhale brings this forwards because your ribs naturally lift up and out. Exhale, draw it in and depress it. Good. One more inhale forwards. And exhale, draw in, depress. Good, come center, and you're going to shift one direction. So think, don't tip over, keep yourself level, but shift to the side. Good, back to the center, shift to the other side. So it's like you're taking your whole straight chest and just moving it over to one side. Easier said than done. Good, and shift it to the other side. Really nice. And now you're going to shift, bring it forwards with the sternum, shift to the other side, to press through the sternum, bring it back. So shift, lift forwards, shift, and to press back. One more time this way. So shift and forwards, shift, bring it back and go the other way. You may feel your core warming up. That's fantastic if you do. Lift, shift the other way to press through that sternum. So shift. Problem with thoracic spines, a lot of us are either stuck in this position or stuck in too much of this. And thoracic spines tend to be stiff because, again, it's just our daily life and everything we're asked to do, especially in crazy times like this. Good, over to the side, back to center. We also can side bend with our thoracic spine. So one arm up, side bend it over for a big stretch and change. So inhale, arm up, exhale, side bend. Inhale up, Exhale, side bend. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, side bend. And the final thing we need to talk about for thoracic is rotation. So thumbs, these are not your elbows, but your thumbs, put them into your sternum. Breathe in here. Exhale, rotate your chest as far as it can go. Your nose stays in line with your fingertips. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. So most people try to cheat. If I say as far as you can go, make sure that nose is in line with your fingertips. Might not feel like you're going far. That's fine. Your sit bones are glued onto the floor. Your core, your obliques, is responsible for rotating you. And you're going to see today how your shoulder blades are quite attached to your obliques. So the health of your shoulder blades is very important, tying into those oblique muscles. Good. One more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Good. And center and rotate. Good. So that's thoracic spine. Now, shoulder blades, your scapula, are big, wide, flat bones that hang out on the back of your rib cage. All right. Really, really important to try to get them some form of stability, because most of us don't have it. You know, even if we're strong through the arms, your shoulder blades are just going everywhere, and that's when we get the neck tension, and a lot of people have trouble with the upper traps and headaches and so on. So I got my 6-year-old today to do some art. Homeschooling was finding what a scapula was, and he got to outline the borders of my scapula. He did quite well, I reckon, so that you can see scapular movements. So you're going to reach your arms in front of you, and you're going to reach ahead so your scapula spread away from your spine, and then come back to center. Squeeze your scapula together towards your spine and back. So all I'm doing here is reaching. Good. Come back to center. Squeezing together. Good. Just so you can visualize that shoulder blade movement. Reach so the scapula spread. Come back to center. Squeeze together. And center. One more time. So spread the shoulder blades. Center. Squeeze together. And back to center. Now the shoulder blades also lift and lower, as you know. So lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Find middle, and then jam them down as far as they go. Good. Back to middle. Lift them up towards your ears. Back to middle. So watch this line. That's the one that should be changing. Jam it down. Good. Back to middle. One more time. Lift shoulders up towards your ears. Find middle. Jam them down. Find middle. Good. Relax your arms. Now, middle is where we want your shoulder blades. It's kind of a myth that you want them always jammed down and squeezed together, because that's not true. That just creates more tension around the shoulders. Really nice way to find middle before you go into shoulder exercise is pop your hands on your head. Good. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Glide them back down. Go again. Lift up towards your ears. Glide them down. Last time. Float them up. Glide the shoulders down away from your ears as far as they go with your hands on your head, so you're not jamming them down. Now bring your hands down. Your shoulders should feel like they're kind of floating in space. Yeah, relax to your normal position. Most people do this. All right, and try to get them back to that floaty position. So when you do it with your hands on your head, just helps you to find the position. So if you're going into, say, a tricep press, you can do that exercise first, find the right shoulder position, and then go into the arm exercise. So, for example, we're going to sit on your bands. If you don't have a band, grab your weights and do the same movement with your weights. All right, so you're finding that lovely floaty shoulder position. You're not lifting, you're not jamming down. Good, and you're going to reach up and get like a 45-degree angle with the arms and down. Now, if you are prone to shoulder joint pain, only take it to 90 degrees. Don't go farther than 90, or obviously stopping if there's pain in the shoulder joint. Now, the cool thing is, if I'm working with someone and we actually get their scapula in the right place, often they can go a lot farther and a lot stronger with their actual shoulder joints and their arm muscles. So it's all about finding where the shoulder blades need to be before we go and pull with the arms. All right, so shoulders are obviously a ball and socket joint that start on the scapula. So your scapula, keep going as I speak to you, has a little socket. The humerus has the ball. All right, so corner of the scapula, the arm bone connecting into there. All right, that makes the ball and socket joint, and we can move all sorts of different directions. One of the happiest directions if you want to start moving overhead is not straight to the front, not straight out to the side, but about halfway in between, which is the direction we're working now. All right, the key is to almost imagine the farther the arm goes up, the more your shoulder blade glides down the back. Good, last one here, reaching it up and back down. Good, pop off that band, bring it out in front of you, and you're going to pull apart. So this is going to start to work some of those muscles in between the shoulder blades and the spine that are often a little bit weaker. So it's the muscles in front of us that are quite tight from all of our daily life, driving and carrying and computering and all those sorts of things. All right, it's the muscles behind us that are normally weaker and don't have as much work. But really watching today that the knotty upper traps don't start to take over. So anytime we work too hard with the shoulders or put too heavy of weights before they're ready, what happens is upper traps, we're big and strong, they try to take over, all right, and do all the work. You're just trying to keep them, they can be on, but they're not turning into steel cables. All right, so pin your elbows into your waist, grab your band, and you're now going into external rotation. So rotator cuff muscles of the shoulder joint. You're rotating your hands outwards, keeping your elbows pinned into your waist. Good. So I'll show you a couple ways how to do this. Again, really important. Your internal rotators, the ones that draw in, are so tight and strong because of your pecs. External rotation tends to be quite weak and where people start to get problems in the rotator cuff. It's a really good one to practice. Your arm here, your humerus, is staying stable and you are rotating out away from the body while keeping that humerus. It's still in space, but it's rotating. If that makes any sense. Good. So you should start to feel a little bit of warmth through the back of the shoulders now as you're rotating outwards. Got a couple more to go. This time as you pull out with the hands, hold it there, bring it in just a little bit, and then pulse back out for 8, for 7, good, 6, 5, getting nice and warm on the back of the shoulders, hopefully 3, 2, 1, release it. Inhale your arms up above your head, exhale back down behind you, inhale up and down in front of you. Good, reach it up, exhale down the back, reach it up, hold it up there. This time pull it apart as you rotate and center, pull it apart, rotate and center. Good, 2 more. And then I'm assuming that upper body's warmed up, ready for the real work. Good, and relax it down. So another lovely place to work thoracic spine and shoulders is on your roller. So if you don't have a long one, you can either just lay down onto the floor. You're gonna need your weights too if you have them. I've got diced tomatoes, 2 different brands today, very exciting. Okay, so you're on your roller, head at one end, bum at the other end. I do not have a long roller today, so I'm using a ball. You can do ball, sleeping bag, a couple pillows underneath you. Just make sure your bum and your head are supported so your head's not hanging off. So once you actually get here, it should be decently comfortable. All right, start with scissors. So one arm up towards your ear, one down to your hip. You're grabbing weights if you have them. If you don't have them, that's fine. All right, you're gonna have a little bit of core work to keep you on the roller. Your feet and knees are just hip distance apart, so not too wide. If your body wants extra stability, it'll start bringing really wide feet. All right, try to bring that in a little bit for me. Good, and you're just making sure that arm that goes up towards your ear, let it come back to stretch, but don't lift the rib cage to compensate, and don't let that shoulder blade lift towards your ear. So shoulder blades are gliding away from your ears. Speed it up. So speed it up, keep the same control through the shoulders and the core. A little bit of upper abs on here to control those ribs. Excellent. All right, arms up, back to our protraction, retraction. So spread the shoulder blades, come to neutral, squeeze the roller with your shoulder blades and neutral. So punch and neutral, squeeze and neutral. One more punch and neutral, squeeze and neutral. Both arms back towards your ears. Slow circle down and around to your hips. Exhale back to the ears. Inhale, circle it down and around. Exhale back to the ears. Inhale, circle it down and around. Last one, exhale back. Inhale, circle down and around. Have the hands up above the shoulders, and you're just going to inhale, open wide. Exhale, bring it back up. I'm going to bend elbows because I've got a wall beside me. You can keep them straight if you can. And exhale up. So you bring it out until you get a stretch through the shoulders. And reach it up. One arm at a time now. So a little bit more core challenge if you've got weights. Take the other arm out to the side and up. Inhale, one arm out. Pull it up. Other arm out. Draw it back up. Good. Really nice. Bench press now. So you can do this with heavier weights if you have them. You bend the elbows, pull the weights right down into the armpits. Should be a nice stretch if you're on the roller. Exhale, core wraps as you punch back up. So inhale to bend it in. Exhale, back up. Inhale it in. Exhale, back up. One more. Inhale, bend it in. Exhale, reach it up. Good, very nice. Always having a nice stretch on the roller is great. If you have a tight thoracic spine or you're at a desk, it can be awesome just to lay here for 3 to 5 minutes a day. I call this the stop, don't shoot stretch because your arms are up saying stop, don't shoot. You're relaxing your elbows and hands towards the floor and you're just breathing and letting your chest open. So many of us are just so tight through here. So letting that open can go a long way into a healthy upper body. Good, when you're ready, coming gracefully off your roller, as gracefully as you can. Okay, what are we on here? Okay, on hands and knees, and if hands and knees isn't gonna work for you, you're standing with your hands onto a chair. All right, your hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. If you're not sure where your neutral spine is, just do a bit of a cat stretch and find middle, all right? So again, before we do shoulder stuff, we're coming into protraction, retraction. So retraction, you let your chest drop, your shoulder blades glide together. Good, and then protraction, you press your shoulder blades apart so your chest lifts away from the floor. If we retract, we squeeze together. Notice my spine isn't moving, my elbows aren't bending, it's just my shoulder blades moving. So we're repeating this in a lot of different positions today because this is how you find the stabilizers of your shoulder blades. You get really good and aware of these muscles. Good, now find middle. When you find middle, you should still feel like you're lifting your sternum, your neck and your head away from the floor. Your chin is nodded, so you have a long back of the neck. From here, take one arm off the floor, tap it to your opposite shoulder. Good, bring the hand back down and tap with the other side. So you're switching arms. As you tap, I want you to have a little bit of a feel of your upper trap of the shoulder that you're weight bearing on. So you bring that hand onto those icky upper trap muscles and just make sure they're not gripping. All right, so exhale, change and tap. Exhale, change and tap. So you're weight shifting, getting your body used to doing things one arm. Excellent. You want to do this against the wall too. If it gets too much on the wrist, you can absolutely stand and practice against the wall. You'll still get all those stabilizers working. So now onto one arm. You're going to protract and retract one arm. So getting harder now. You're going to retract here and protract. So retract, drop towards your spine and protract. One more time, retract, protract. Press the floor away. Now hold the protract. Protract so much that you're going to rotate. So you're going to rotate. You'll see how your stabilizers lead right into your obliques. Come back to neutral. Exhale, press the floor away to rotate. And back to neutral. Exhale, press away to rotate. And neutral. Good. Press away, rotate. Come to neutral. Change arms. Other hand down on the floor, chair, or wall. Opposite hand coming up onto the upper track or across the chest. So you retract, drop the chest, protract, press away. It's really about thinking about the floor, the contact of the hand onto the floor, and pressing into the floor to get the stabilizers. So the stabilizers I really want here are underneath the shoulder blade, attaching onto the rib cage. That's where my hand's kind of poking under my armpit. You can poke yourself and feel them working here if you like. You can press into the floor so much now that you rotate. Good, and back to center. So push into the floor. Feel that lovely little muscle under the armpit working. And back to neutral. Serratus anterior for anatomy nerds out there. 2 more, press and rotate. Back to center. Last one, press and rotate. Back to center. Walk your hands out, leave your bottom up in the air, and stretch the chest towards the floor. So you should get a nice big upper back stretch here. Really push chest to the floor. If you're on your chair, standing or lying, that's great. Same thing. Pressing through to the floor, having a lovely big stretch. Good, excellent. Coming onto your side, start on your hand for me. So your legs are swished into I'm a mermaid at the beach position, because I don't know what else to call that position. Your fingertips are pointing outwards towards the corner of the room. You're going to collapse your shoulder up towards your ear, and then you're going to push your shoulder away from your ear. The shoulder towards the ear, press it away. Control it this time, so control towards the ear, press away. Now keep that distance between shoulder and ear, and you're going to bend the elbow. So the elbow is going to come in towards your waist, press it away. Elbow comes in towards the waist, press it away. Good. You should feel the tricep working. This should stay soft. Maybe for some of you. 3 more. Press it away. Good. For 2. Press. Last 1. Push the floor away. Come all the way down onto the forearm. Go again. So you're going to collapse. Lift up through the neck. Good. Collapse shoulder to ear. Lift up. Good. 1 more. Collapse it. Lift it up. So you're strong through the underside of that shoulder blade. All right. Now lift the whole waist off the floor. You're balancing on the forearm and the knee, and release. Lift the waist off. Good. So you should be working hard through that underside of oblique and shoulder blade. This next one you're going to hold. So lift off, hold it there, top arm and leg long. Go elbow to knee for 5. Good. Pull it in 4. Strong through that bottom shoulder. 3. For 2. Great. Last 1. Relax the pelvis down and coming up. Good. You should be warm and fuzzy all through the muscles here at the bottom of the shoulder. That's my goal for you, is tomorrow you wake up and find all these new shoulder muscles. You're not sore here. All right. Other hand down onto the floor. Legs swished the other way. Hand onto the floor. You're going to let the shoulder blade come up towards your ear and then press down away. So shoulder comes up. Then press into the floor to lengthen. Good. Collapse the shoulder blade. Lengthen. Now hold the space between ear and shoulder as you bend the elbow. Elbow comes towards you and press it up. You need to use your hand, your other hand, do it just to make sure that shoulder is not sneaking up towards the ear. These are all the things in regular classes that we don't always have time to address, is the shoulder blade position. But again, because so many of us struggle with the shoulders, are really important things to learn. Bend. Press it up. This one you're coming all the way down to the floor, and then you're collapsing the shoulder, lifting up out of the floor. Collapse, lift up out of the floor. Last one, collapse it, lift up out of the floor. Hold the lift underneath the shoulder blade and lift the pelvis up. Good and down. So feeling how that serratus muscle and the obliques work together. This time press into the floor, lift the waist, hold, arm and leg long. And then go elbow to knee and reach, elbow to knee and reach. Good for 3. Reach it out, elbow to knee, 2. Beautiful, last 1. Reach it out, good, lower the pelvis. Very good, everybody still with me? All right, coming onto your stomachs for me, please. You're right. So if you go into a stop, don't shoot stretch, your pubic bone's on the floor just so your low back stays maintained and your abs are on. You're going to lift your head just off the floor. You're still looking down at the floor. Your arms are lifting and your shoulder blades are squeezing together. Good, and release it down. Reach it up and release it down. Now you can do the same thing with weights if you want. If your shoulders and upper back are already getting tired, then leave the weights out of it, because little weights will actually maybe a lot for this one. So you lift and release it down. This time, lift off the floor. You're going to rotate your hands up to the ceiling as far as they go. It's not going to be far. And then release them down to the floor, just the hands. So rotate upwards, release them down to the floor. Rotate upwards, release down to the floor. 1 more, rotate upwards, release down to the floor. Now reach the arms in front of you. Pull the elbows in. Inhale, reach in front of you. Exhale, pull them in. This time reach in front of you and then circle around, pull them down towards your hips. So reach them in front of you, head lowers, circle the arms around, lift the chest. Reach in front of you, arm forwards, circle around, lift the chest. 1 more, reach in front of you, arms forwards, circle around, lift the chest, hold it here and pulse the back of the arms up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Relax the arms down. Press up onto hands and knees and just stretch that low back out. Press the chest through the floor. You can go wide knees here, so you can really press the chest through to the floor and stretch the upper back at the same time. All right, so back up onto hands and knees. You come against the wall or back onto your chair if you need to. Think about the protraction retraction position. So do a few of those, protract and retract, find middle. Now maintain that middle position of the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades are not going to move as you bend your elbows. So it's almost like you've got a red hot poker under your sternum. It's making you keep it lift of your sternum in your head as you bend the elbows. So bend the elbows, but keep the lift, 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 and then press back up. It's gonna make you work a lot harder through your shoulder blade stabilizers if you keep the feeling of lifting the chest and the head away from the floor. All right, so inhale down, exhale, press it up. Good. If it's too easy on hands and knees, you move into one of your plank positions here. Exhale, press it up. But again, when you're working the shoulder blades properly, sometimes it's better to unload. So put less load through and get more of those right muscles working. Good. 3 more here. Press it up. For 2. Go again, press it up. Last one. Press it up. Good. Coming and shaking it out. All right. One more slightly higher level exercise here on hands and knees. This is when you're ready to load and move the shoulders in multiple directions. If you're not quite there, hang on, because we're going to do a stretch in a minute. So do another set of your hands and knees push-ups if you need to. So you're going to exhale, tuck your toes under, and lift your knees just up off the ground, sorry. Now, as you exhale, you're going to take your left leg and thread it through your right arm and right leg. Right arm's going to lift. So a tripod transition, yeah? Back in 1, back to hands and feet. Exhale, take the leg through the opposite arm and leg. Arm lifts, back onto hands and feet. Exhale, the shoulder you're supporting on rotates with you. Good, back onto hands and feet. So it kind of feels nice because you get a whole range of motion stretch through that bottom shoulder. Back to hands and feet. 1 more each side. Exhale through. Back to hands and feet. Last time, exhale through. Back to hands and feet. Lower the knees and stretch it out. Good. Everyone still with me? All right, 1 more rotator cuff and then we'll stretch it out. So you're sitting almost like your mermaid position, except your top leg is going to come up. So your front heel is in the crook of the back foot. Put that so you can see my feet. Yeah, just so we have a stable position for our elbow to meet our knee. Grab the weight, release the weight down, okay, into internal rotation. Press the elbow down into the knee as you come into external rotation. So internal rotation, pulling it up to external rotation. All right, this is really good work for the rotator cuff because you're getting that lovely lengthening on the way down, stretching out the rotator cuff and then pulling up. It also really helps with alignment because this is going to keep your shoulder blade active by pressing elbow into knee. Stop you from using the wrong muscles, hopefully. Good, you can do some pulses at the top. I'll let you practice that one after. Let's do the other side. Elbow to knee, so you're coming down and forwards with that hand. Exhale to spiral it up. Inhale down and forwards. Exhale, spiral it up. Good, down and forwards. Spiral it up. Down and forwards. Spiral through the back of the shoulder joint. Hold it up there and do some pulses. Good, and so you can play with what weight you're doing these at, but they're really nice ones for kind of shoulder rehab. Another really nice one for shoulder rehab, there's a nice little bowl here, is teacups. They're a bit weird, but what your ideal for teacups is to be able to do this with a tennis ball or a small ball or your weight, your can, whatever you've got, with your hand wide. You start with your arm by your side, the easier standing up as well. You bring the hand in towards the waist. So we're coming into internal rotation. Good, you're going to have to move your spine on this one as well. You circle out, bring the hand outwards and back in. What? You can have a look at people who are better than me at teacups on YouTube. So really this is supposed to be done with a cup of tea, if you can imagine. All right, your hand wide so you're not actually supporting the ball. And then you go the other way. So you take the hand outwards, bring it in towards your ear, circle it in towards the waist and back. So the whole time your hand needs to be flat, and you can see how it's forcing a nice big shoulder range of motion for people who don't usually move their shoulders. All right, so on the other hand, you're bringing pinky finger into waist, circle it out, coming up towards the ear and back down. So pinky finger into waist, circle, bring it out. My dodgy shoulder, can you tell? I can't actually hold the ball. Good, and then you go the other way. So you take the hand out away from the ear, circle it in, bring it in towards the waist. So your thumb comes past your waist in this direction. So take it out, circle, draw it in, and yes, if that is way too weird for you, you're going to take your weight or no weight, lie onto your side, and finish with your windmill stretch. So you can either go up towards the ceiling and out until you feel the stretch, or you can circle. If your arm is happy with you being up towards your ear, you circle it out. You basically hold and breathe where you're getting that biggest stretch through your chest and shoulder. And then you can circle it down. So you're going to do 3 nice big circles of that top arm on your windmill stretch. On the 3rd circle, you're holding, breathing, relaxing for about 5 breaths. So you're coming into that spine rotation, relaxing the arm back, stretching out the shoulder. Beautiful. So the weight just adds a little bit of extra pull into that stretch. If you don't need extra pull and it's already tight enough, then don't do it with the weight. Try the other side. So you've got your weight, legs are curled up, you're circling that arm, doing nice big stretches. So that's a lot of information in half an hour for shoulders. Shoulders are tricky and not tricky. If you're trying to find the right muscles, just remember to unload the shoulders at first, so don't add too much load. You see people at the gym lifting huge weights above their head that really, if I made them lift no weights above their head, their shoulder blades still wouldn't know where they are in space. So start with low load. Start with your hands against something, against the floor or against the wall, working into protraction and retraction. Good. Have lots of lovely shoulder stretches. And then find a way to work into your shoulder movements, whether it's teacup-like movements or just doing elbow to knee, coming into internal and external rotation. All right, if you find you wake up tomorrow and you're all upper trappy and stiff through your neck, send me a message and we'll see what we can give you just at stage 1 to kind of work on shoulder blade isolations that aren't going to get your upper traps all crazy. Okay, thanks everyone for coming along, and we'll see you for an interesting one on Friday. We're going to try some Pilates interval training.